Hello, ladies and germs. I was having a hot flash and thought of all of you, and was having a good hair day, but I'm sweating. Um, I always say my vlogs for the best time of day when I have like sweat dripping down my face, blah blah. Anyhow, it's like nighttime, not super nighttime, and I have been taking my nighttime meds earlier, instead of instead of being super uncomfortable for many hours at night. I made the genius decision to start taking the meds earlier so that I'm not as not good feeling for longer, and I've been going to sleep earlier too. I sound like a 10-year-old, but these are things that I should have been doing anyway. This is one of the problems about like being single and living on your own. You could do whatever you want, but that means you could have bad sleep habits and stuff too, and no one's there to be on your case except for yourself. But I have learned that I feel better when I've had more sleep. Shocker. But I wanted to check in for a couple of reasons. I'm curious to watch this vlog compared to other ones because I'm still many months behind. I'm just now, where are we now? Oh, it's May 1st. Happy May Day. I'm just now uploading stuff from the runway show from back in October. So that puts me 7 months behind, which is better than the 9 that I was at one point. But I have had some changes to meds in relation to the hot flashes and how that's changed where, what's going on with me. So I wanted to check in. One thing I will also say about habits, I did the whole year, which is actually a year and 2 months at the gym to lose some weight and all the stuff. After a year and 2 months, I weighed in 1 pound less than when I started. My lowest point, or my lowest weight weigh-in was maybe 11, 12 pounds less than what I was, and I have gained 30-ish pounds since I got, no, more than that, 35 pounds since I started all the meds and all this stuff. And part of that could be, not that I can't blame it all on the meds. Some of it is being on a Lupron, it puts you in menopause, chemically, so that slows down metabolism and whatever, all the sciencey stuff that basically made me put on weight. And then when I was off the Lupron, then I was in, well, I mean, it takes over a year for them to declare you, but it was in regular menopause. So I went through menopause twice. So I guess that's 2 inner tubes that were around me. But anyhow, but I did gain a lot of strength. Weirdly, today I tripped. Not bad. I was wearing pretty heels, but maybe I'm getting to the point where I shouldn't be as fashionable looking. Of course, most of the time that you see me, I don't look super fashionable. But I rarely get ready for work and then start to vlog. Yeah, I tripped. I was wearing sandals, but they have a bit of a heel, but it's a chunky heel. And I was fine walking the 4,000 steps I walked today. And then ironically, when I went to tutor, I tripped. I think there was a cord sticking out. I tripped on the cord as soon as I got into the study carrel, and I didn't fall I fell over the chair, but the chair hit me right in the rib, right underneath my foob. I mean, I seem to be, oh, ow. No, I seem to be fine, but I feel like that's going to leave a mark tomorrow. But in general, I'm fine. Ow, as I'm touching, yeah, that's going to leave a freaking mark. It hurt. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not really funny. But in general, I'm much stronger and coordinated, minus today, since I've been at the gym. But since I've not been at the gym and I don't have these scheduled appointments, and I did reach out to the Livestrong program, I registered and I filled out the forms online, but no one got back to me. And because I'm not good with accountability, I didn't do the thing of picking up the phone and calling them to ask when the next session for Livestrong starts. So I've been using the gym at home, well, in my apartment building, but it's very easy then to not go to the gym. So what happened? Something happened over the past couple weeks I don't remember, and then I missed a couple of like my routine days I was going, and then I just like stopped going. But then I also noticed that my clothes started getting tight again, and it's crazy how like quickly all the hard work that you do gets undone when you don't keep up with it. Shocker. I sound like I gave everybody else advice on what to do, and I'm like, Jen, just sleep more and stay with your program of going to the gym. Really? Anyway, I'm like sucking on a tea bag. That's gross. Oh, I didn't mean it that way. Anyhow, I'm much more myself than I have been in a very, very long time. So one thing I want to mention, I had showed you my other fans, the black and the white fan that I had, that you like plug into a USB to charge it and stuff. And I have one at work and I have one in my bedroom for nighttime. I generally don't, oh, that's not true. Like in the morning when I'm getting ready, I need them. But I don't know what sparked, I feel like it was right before the runway retreat. I decided to suck it up and buy one of these things. They look sort of like headphones. Apparently people that go to like Disney have these all the time around their necks. I find it annoying when people walk around with headphones like on their neck all the time, because it's like, hello, are you listening to me? But it's not headphones, it's a fan. The nice thing is, like, although it's not the most fashionable, though when my hair's down, here, I'll show you. When my hair's down, it's not as obvious. I mean, my hair is relatively big. You don't want to get caught in these things because that's happened before, because it will hurt. This is like the intake, and then when you press the, see how loud it is? When you press the button, there's a fan all around your neck. And I thought it might like give me a stiff neck and stuff, but it doesn't, because it doesn't really start, you don't start feeling it till here. It's lovely. It's a nice change of pace. Twice I've worn it out in public. I wore it quite a few times at the runway retreat, but you're around other breast cancer survivors, so it seems less weird. And people thought I was wearing headphones. I'm like, whatever. They're pink because I was like trying to own it. You don't have to get it in pink, whatever. There's a button on the side. There's 5 different modes. I've never had it more than on the second mode, because the 5th one, there's 1, 2, 3, I don't know how loud it is, 4, 5. This is kind of intense. This is like I'm on an airplane. I don't know how much you can hear this. It's like, whoa. And then the 6th one is shutting off. I'm going to have it on low just for a little bit. But it does a great job at like cooling off your head, especially right now. Like it's almost 10 o'clock. I should be going to sleep, but I wanted to just check in with you. I was on a webinar, for the Paving the Path to Wellness program. They do these things called potholes, which I think is the worst acronym ever for a breast cancer support anything, is potholes. Who wants to step in a pothole? It stands for something. I don't even remember, but I think it's a dumb acronym. It makes me not want to go on any of the webinars because it's called potholes. Like I'm looking forward to going and, stepping into a pothole. Who does that? No one. Anyway, but today's was run by my oncology nurse, and it was about, if I'm saying this right, Ayurveda. It's the Indian life science thing. I've had Ayurveda. I've had massages in that style, whatever, before. It was actually very interesting, and it got me just in the mode of I haven't really done a vlog in a while, so I thought I would check in. So what is so different? I started Celexa. Let's see. Not much has changed with the before that. Not much had changed with my meds in quite a while. I've had a lot of like yearly check-ins over the past couple of months, and things have been pretty like staying where they are. My A1C is pretty much skating right where it was, and all these things I've been watching, are just kind of like no news is good news. The lump that I have is like still there. I had another doctor, my cardiologist. She checked the lump and said also that it was nothing that she didn't see anything that it is concernable, or is of concern. So I don't know. I'm just trying to like get over it. Yeah, let's not go there because that's not what today is about. But what I did notice was that the hot flashes were coming back much more intensely and more frequently. And I'm like, why randomly after almost 4 years would that be the case right now? I have no idea. I'm gonna shut this off because I don't want you to not hear me. So I didn't know what was going on. And I know that I'm still taking the gabapentin, 100 milligrams in the morning and 100 milligrams at night. Oh, but I've been doing that for, oh my gosh, a real long time. I mean, I was on the gabapentin post-surgery for like nerve pain and stuff, but I've been on it either for that or for the hot flashes. I mean, it's been almost 4 years. So I think crap, I just broke my nail. I think my body was just like getting used to it. But if I increase my dose, I can't go to the bathroom. So I don't really want that to happen because that's uncomfortable. There's plenty of people that take like 1,000 milligrams of gabapentin. I can't go above 200 without having like GI issues. So I didn't want to do that. And then I had a talk actually with the oncology nurse who ran the webinar today about like what my options are. Options for everyone are very different because it depends on like what kind of breast cancer you had. Is it hormone based? Is it not? You know, are you postmenopausal or premenopausal? What meds are you on now? Blah, blah, blah. Because the easy answer for non-breast cancer patients or breast cancer survivors is like go on hormone replacement therapy. The reason why you're having hot flashes is you don't have the hormones to be controlling your what do you call it? Your internal body temperature, and that's why you have hot flashes. So what's the answer? So, you know, bring hormones back into your body. Well, when you've had hormone receptor positive breast cancer, you don't want hormones in your body. The tamoxifan's role is to basically starve out any, you know, cancer cells that are left so that they can't eat any potential estrogen or progestin is it progestin or progesterone? I should know that. Anyway, that's in your system. So hormone replacement therapy is not a thing because I don't really feel like having my cancer come back. So that's a no. So other options. There's a lot of options. There are other classes of medications. As you've seen through these 4 years of vlogs, my body is very sensitive to medication. So, and I've tried, like oddly, or maybe it's not oddly, I'm not really a sciencey person to know, but a lot of medications that are antidepressants seem to, for whatever reason, have a side effect of controlling hot flashes. The problem is that most of the ones that they've listed I had tried, like separate and aside from the cancer. I also had gone through a divorce like 10 years ago and had tried those meds and like had bad side effects from them. So I'm like, I don't need to go back into that world. But then I thought, well, that was also 10 years ago. And I was in my 40s at that point. So I'm like, my body is not the same as it was when I was in my 40s. Maybe having gone through menopause twice, my body has changed so much that maybe these meds will now work. I don't know. So I said I'd give it a whirl and see if it works. You know, I'll be off for whatever period of time. And if it's horrible for 2 weeks, then I'll like give up and say, I tried it again, didn't work, blah, blah. I was assuming that it wasn't going to work. And by George, in the beginning, it really didn't. The non-medication route that you could go is acupuncture. I've never had acupuncture before. There are also a lot of places that do acupuncture specifically for this. I'm not sure if they do it through the Cancer Center or not at MGH, but they do acupuncture through at the Healing Garden in Harvard, Mass, where you pay, it's like a sliding scale of what you pay for acupuncture. But I have an arterial thing going on, so I'd have to like get clearance to do acupuncture, although I'm pretty sure it's fine. And I don't really get how like that has anything to do with blood pressure, or not blood pressure, with hot flashes. But again, I'm not sciencey enough to get how it's all linked together. I get their points that, you know, impact other things, whatever. But I figured if the meds didn't work, I'll try the acupuncture. Some people get the acupuncture like, and it lasts for like a month with them not having hot flashes, or having them that aren't as bad. But I started Celexa. It's not just any SSRI or SNRI or whatever that works. Some of them specifically you can't take because they counteract the role of what tamoxifen does. And no one wants to mess around with like the tamoxifen doing what it needs to do. So there's certain ones that are just like off the table for me because of the tamoxifen. So Celexa is, I mean, very common, I guess. Like, you know, I've seen commercials, whatever. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it a whirl. I had never tried it before, but it is an SSRI from my understanding. And serotonin-based meds had not worked for me before. So I'm like, but I'll give it a go for 2 weeks and let's like see what happens. So they start me on a half a pill. The pills are minutely small as it is. So half a pill is like, you can't, it's not scored. It's not meant to be broken in half. So I had a pill splitter. So I split it. It's like super, super small, but I know that like I need small doses of things. That's just how my body works. If I take the full dose of what it's supposed to be, I tend to have like really bad side effects. And again, not thrilled to be on another medication, but my hot flashes were getting to the point where like, I didn't want to go anywhere again because I'm like sweating all the fucking time. And what's so bizarre too is when you're surrounded, like at the runway retreat, when I'm surrounded by breast cancer survivors, that I know many of them are, you know, same situation where there's, maybe not so much similar to my age, but like on medication that threw them into menopause, and I'm like, why are they not sweating? I don't understand. Like, I can barely drink any alcohol anymore. Not that I was a big drinker before, but I'll have like if I have 2 sips of wine, like I'm out. I'm sweating my ass off. I had this like canned tequila pineapple drink thing, which was better because it's not wine. There's something in wine that just makes it awful. But still, like 1 can of that, it wasn't even super alcoholic, and I'm sweating so badly. So, I mean, I guess it's good not to have a lot of alcohol anyway, but like, it just makes the hot flashes so much worse. So I started the Celexa. The first day, I had a whopping headache. I mean, I don't think I've ever had a headache like that ever before. And with FMD, like I have, that's the biggest thing is like the really, really bad headaches. My FMD is like totally under control, so I don't really get the headaches anymore, but I've never had a headache like this. It's not like, you know, like you get like a sinus headache or a tension headache and they're all like in different parts of your head. This was like legit, my entire fucking head was just like pounding like all day long to the point I just want to like hold it and squeeze it all day. It was awful. So that went on for like a day and a half. And then I reached out on the gateway and I'm like, dude, I can't do this. Like, this is the worst headache I've had. And she's like, you know, we don't want you to have, you know, worse side effects from this that are worse than the hot flashes. So it's okay to just stop. Let's like revisit and see what else we can try instead. But then my stubborn self was like, you know, as long as my blood pressure's okay and my heart rate's okay, I'm like, let's see how long this headache lasts. And I tried having coffee because of the caffeine, and maybe I took Tylenol. Again, I don't want to take pills to undo the pills because I just don't like to do that. All the things that like I knew to do, lots of meditation to make things go away that weren't like more med based. But the headache went away after the second day. Not entirely, but mostly went away. By the third day, the headache was totally gone. There was something else. I'm like flaking on it now. The biggest thing that like physically hurt was the headache. Something else happened after that, but it didn't last very long. I think I was tired. I think that's what it was. I was super tired. Yes, because I remember I was working from home and I'm like reading these like legislative articles and I'm like falling asleep, which like is not like me. I don't typically fall asleep in the middle of the day. I was super, super, super tired, I remember. But same thing with that. That lasted maybe like 3 days or so. And then like I didn't feel that anymore. But what was interesting was after like, I don't know, when the headaches were done, maybe like 4 days into it or so, like when your head's pounding, it's like the hot flashes you're not focusing on because your head just hurts so badly. But when I noticed that I was having a hot flash, it just felt different. Um, like normally when I have hot flashes, it feels like, I mean, literally someone took like a match and just like to my entire, mostly it's my head. Like it's also down my, at nighttime, like now, like down my back and stuff, I'll start sweating. But it's mostly like my face just feels like someone took a match and they're just like holding this ginormo match right next to my head. Like it's that kind of burny feeling. But that's not what it felt like after the 4th day of the Celexa. It felt, it was more like a warm feeling, not like a hot feeling. Not a good warm feeling, because you still don't want to feel warm. The weather's getting, it's May, so it's getting warmer outside. But it was more like you have like a warm, cozy blanket on, but you're getting too hot with the blanket on, or too warm with the blanket on. It wasn't so extreme with the heat. It was, I guess, you know, more subtle and feeling too warm than feeling like excruciatingly hot. Excruciating is probably a strong word. Shockingly hot, I don't know. But it was more of a, like a smoother feeling. I'm not great with words, but it was like a smoother feeling. It wasn't as intense as, you know, it was too warm versus like, oh my God, I'm hot, you know? So anyway, so it's been, how long has it been? Maybe 3 weeks now that I've been on it. No headaches, no other weirdness at all. I'm actually to the point where I'm wondering, like if it should go up in dose to like the regular dose or not, but I kind of want to just like stay with what I'm doing right now. I still am a bit tired. I don't know if it's because of the meds or if it, at this point, it's like, how many meds do I have to fucking take, you know? And then taking all these things, I'm like, if they're interacting with each other, like I'm taking a few things right now to counteract side effects. Like if they're all working with each other, is that what's making me tired? Like I'm wondering if I should be going down the gabapentin because I added this on, or should I be going down on something else because I added this on? I know that I don't want to make too many changes in the beginnings because then you don't know what's causing what. But I can't be tired. Like I have to be on my game. So yeah. And like, as the weather's getting warmer, I mean, we've had days where it's been like 75 out, and it's an adjustment for me, with getting used to it being warm outside, not sweating profusely. But the interesting thing is that it's not just the hot flashes, it's the non-control of your body temperature. Because before I guess my hot flashes were really out of control, it was mostly that I just got hot all the time. And it's not like I was ever cold. Like I was never cold. I remember during COVID, after I got sick, I would walk, it would be like 40 degrees outside, and I'd go for a walk in the morning like, oh, this is so refreshing, you know? Now, like I'll go for walks outside and stuff. If it's like, well, today it was 60 degrees when I got home, and I needed to put a jacket on because my hands were cold. Like that wouldn't have happened to me before. So it's not just with the easing up of the hot flashes and how extreme they now don't feel. It's also like the ability to be cold again, which, like, you know, who wants to be cold? But it's just, you know, these normal body temperature fluctuations that you should have, or what people have. I have those now. Like my feet, if my feet are cold, I'll put like, you know, cute little slippers on or whatever. I didn't have cold feet before because I was just like warm all the time. The one thing that is not enjoyable, which I feel like I have to, again, have a conversation with them about how that's going to work. I'm having more night sweats, but they're not waking me up. I'm actually sleeping like most solidly I have in a really long time. Part of that, again, is my better sleep habits. But I'm waking up like an hour before I should be waking up, or an hour before my alarm is set to wake up. And I'm noticing that like I have a lot of like boob sweat and stuff going on. I don't know if that's because like right now I take the half of Celexa in the morning, and like, is it just worn off? And that's why I'm starting to sweat like overnight. I don't really know what that's about, but that's only been like the past few days. So I have an appointment in like 3 weeks, which seems like a long time now, because I'll need a refill before I talk to her. I was supposed to have a follow-up with her last week, and then she had to unexpectedly cancel. But I'll have that follow up and find out, you know, if there's any tweaks that should be made. After 3 more weeks, like, I'll have a much better picture of what's going on with me. And I don't mind, like, I mean, at first I'm like, I don't want to, like, share with the world that, hey, I'm on Celexa, you know, like, no shame and stuff, like, whatever. I feel like half the world is on some sort of medication for something. But I know how much of a pain in the freaking arse the hot flashes and all this cancer bullshit is. And again, I just want to be helpful for people. Like, this is what worked for me. And the many SSRIs I tried 10 years ago just were not working for me. So I thought it was off the table, but apparently it's not off the table. And the nice thing that I noticed, because it is an antidepressant, and I mean, I've told you about my fluctuations and, you know, where I was. And, you know, I started medication almost a year and a half ago, when I started going through withdrawal from the Lupron, because I was just totally not myself. I was in a really dark place, like, no bueno. With the Celexa, I actually find myself, like, inadvertently smiling again. Not in a weird way. Like, I know some people, I know most women that I know are on some sort of antidepressant or anti-anxiety or whatever it is. But some of them are, like, so medicated that they just are kind of emotionless because they're just like this all the time. And it's just weird and uncomfortable for me to be around them because they just seem like they're so medicated they don't know, like, which way is up. I think a balance is really important. I don't want to be medicated to the point that I'm not myself. But what I'm enjoying about whatever the serotonin or whatever it is that's doing stuff, I, for a long time, was not feeling joy in the things that I'm doing. I'm not even doing my favorite things yet. Like, I'm not even kayaking yet because it's not warm enough to go kayaking yet. But I'm just noticing, like, little things, like I'm watching a TV show and I'm smiling. Or, I don't know, like, I asked a friend to hang out or something, and we had tea and just chatted, and it was really nice. So I'm back on Match. That was kind of a big deal to go back and go into the dating world again. Online dating is a whole other topic to talk about. But in general, I just feel like I'm more myself. I have more feelings, and that's not really how I mean to phrase it. I feel more feelings. I feel more feelings than I felt before. I felt very, like, stunted. I mean, of course you're bitter and angry about the whole cancer thing anyway. But since I've been on the Celexa, I feel like a little bit like the fog is clearing a little bit, and, like, some version of Jen is popping back out again. Not exactly the same version that I was before, because you're never the same after you have a life-changing experience like cancer. But I just feel more like myself. Yeah. So happy news. I hope it lasts. I don't know. It's all tweaking and, you know, playing the game until you figure out what's working. And I just, like I said, I just wanted to come on and share, you know, the latest update with what's going on. At this point, I'm not really having any big appointments. Well, I take that back. My tattooing, that's kind of a big deal. I'm not having a big appointments. Like, yeah, my tattooing is a big deal. I'm not putting that up on these vlogs. Like, I'm not, they get pulled anyway, but that's such a personal thing. Like, I'm not putting it up there. I will just say that, like, I've gone through 2 rounds now of the nipple tattooing, and holy fuck, is it painful. On one side mostly, my right side not really, because I can't feel it. My left side was numb, but not those 2 times. Oh my gosh. I can't remember if I did a vlog about it afterwards, but I have my 3rd appointment in like 5 weeks, and that should be my last one. It's amazing what they do with just shading and stuff, that it, like, legit looks like I have normal freaking nipples. The way they do the shading on the areola, like, it's not just like you know, pink with like a thing in the middle. I mean, they make it look very natural. And the nurse of plastics is the one who's doing it. And I'm just like, it's just remarkable. And I'm a very harsh critic, as I'm sure you've picked up on these vlogs, but it's amazing what she does. Like if you looked at me from a few feet away, you would never know that they're not real. It's kind of crazy. It's like an optical illusion, because like you turn to the side and it's flat, but you look forward and it's like, nope, there they are. So it's interesting. Like I wore a white tank top the other day, and with like a shirt over it, but it was like when I put the tank top on, in the past, like I've just had to worry about my scars showing, because my scars go like straight across, and they're, even 4 years later, they're still relatively reddish or dark pink, whatever. But now I had to worry about my nipples showing, like not them sticking out, because there's nothing to stick out, but like the coloring, you know. And I'm like, I haven't had to worry about my nipples showing in 4 years. So I'm like, that's just so weird that I can't just walk around with a white tank top anymore, because my nipples would show. It's just so interesting. I don't know. This whole journey is like, what the fuck? I don't know, but I hope that these are helpful. I know they're helpful, because I really appreciate the feedback that I'm getting from people. It means a lot for the support, and it means a lot when you guys share, or guys, when you all share your stories and stuff with me too. Like it just, you know, you need to have people that get it through this process. So as much as I might be helpful for you, I appreciate like everyone else that reaches out to me, and, you know, just shares what you're going through. Even when some people like find my channel and it's not even cancer related, it's just, it's so interesting. Someone recently, and I need to stop and like get ready for bed. Someone recently reached out to me about, I did relatively in the beginning, I did a vlog about like my hair. It was the first time I had my hair washed after my double mastectomy, and like just the feeling of someone else like shampooing my head, and like the cleanliness of having your hair washed was like such a big deal. And I just like I did this like impromptu meditative thing about my experience of having my hair washed for the first time after surgery. And someone reached out. You can find it again. So it would have been like, my surgery was August 20th of 2021. So it would have been like, I don't know, like a week after that or something. If when at that point I posted pretty much real time. But she put a comment in there saying that she had come across my vlog because of something going on with her, where there was like a fear of having her hair cut, or her hair washed, or her head touched, or something like that. And how the meditation that I just like came up with off the fly was so helpful for her. So, you know, while of course it's very vulnerable for me to be on here and like sharing so much stuff that's personal, the name of my channel is not easy to find, but I'm just grateful that like I can be of help to other people. People say I'm influential, whatever. I don't do it to make the big bucks. I don't make any money off of it. It's not about money. I just don't want people to be as like scared and oblivious to things like I was, when there's like all these tips and tricks to stuff that you just learn through experience. And, you know, I just want people to not be as scared, or to have, you know, some knowledge at least about what somebody else went through. So yeah, so if you found this at all helpful, like please share with other people, just so that we can all help each other get through this crazy thing we call life. All right, gotta get ready for bed. See y'all later. Bye.